Okay, thank you. So my name is Jonathan Troncho from Pau Casa Foundation. And in the EWET project, I'm part of the coordination team. And as we don't have much time today, I will focus on explaining the why of this project, what's the motivation behind this. And I will explain our goals very quickly and the way we plan to achieve it. And at the end, we will have I think, no, an open space for questions and answers. So I would like to start by briefly explaining who we are and what we do in the Pacosa Foundation. We are a private non-profit organization created in 14 years ago with the aim of giving a space for knowledge exchange. And now we are working in these three working domains. Basically, the first work domain is focused on the exchange of knowledge and experiences. The second one is the one focused on the applied science, and here is where the EWET project is included for us. And the last working domain is focused on building resilient landscapes and societies, and here we are working more at Catalan level. But starting with the EWET project, we are a 2 years project that started in January this year. So we are we are not yet mature. We are financed by the DG ECO, by the European Commission, and since we are a relatively small project with 6 partners, I think we have a lot of potential. And one thing that is key for me to this project is we follow a bottom-up approach, let me say, because this project is based on identified need by the wildfire community, and to respond to this need, the consortium or EWET consortium is made up of 6 partners from different fire and rescue services. We have working with us the Catalan Fire Rescue Service, the Greenland Fire and Rescue Service, and the Hellenic Fire Service, but also researchers from the Netherlands, from the Wageningen University, and you, with Brian and all the team. And we as the Pau Costa Foundation, we have the role of the coordination, and we are acting as a network expander to maximize the impact and the results of the project. And this is an advantage since you combine the theoretical and the empirical knowledge, but it's also a challenge to meet everyone's needs and expectations. No? But I think the goal is common and shared, so the results are sure to have a positive impact. So surely many of you know this better than me, but I think it's important to provide a little background on where we are and what has led us to be here today. One thing is evident, let me say, we are facing a crisis in the sustainability of our forest. We are seeing a lot of stress in our forests because our forests are failing out of range of climate conditions. That means that these forests are living now in a region with a climatology that it's not the climatology they were born with. So that means more stress, and more stress in our forest means more fuel available to burn, and this more fuel means more fire and an increase on pyroconvection processes. No, this pyroconvection process is one of the most important characteristics of the extreme wildfire events. But this is not a new phenomenon for us, no. But now it's happening at an unprecedented scale. If before we used to need fires of more than 1,000 hectares to generate these pyrocumulus or these convection processes, now we are seeing them with fire of less than 100 hectares. So in other words, these are not new processes, but they are occurring more frequently. So we are having new fire scenarios where the trend is that we have fires of increasing intensity, increasing severity, and complexity, with all of the uncertainty associated with that. So these extreme wildfire events are becoming the new normal. And this sometimes means that the suppression capacity is overwhelmed, which can lead to the collapse of the response system. And in the worst cases with fatal accidents, as we have seen in other places in the whole Europe and in worldwide. Okay. So with all of this, we have seen how the classical model of suppressing fires suppressing these wildfires only by investing in more and more and more resources is reaching its limits. This is not working with these fires, with these fire regimes. So we cannot deal these fires in the classical way. So, but resources are important, of course, it's are key. But knowledge and experience and the know-how of how to deal with these fires is key to manage all these uncertainties. So it's about understanding the wildfire behavior, to be able to manage these uncertainties, and then to develop a strategic decision making. But to achieve this in the context of the extreme wildfire event, we're still having gaps of knowledge that limit this capacity to respond to these fires. And this is what we will try to work during these 2 years with the EWET project. So part of the project objectives is to understand all of these processes of interaction between the fire and the atmosphere. So then to be able to use all of this new knowledge to improve the capacity to respond to these fires. And this, in short, is what we understand as fire analysis. Is there are all the actions we take during the emergency to understand how the fire spreads through the landscape, and to answer the question of what can I do to limit these movements of the fire. So it's about being proactive and anticipating all of these movements. But in the complex fires like the ones that we are talking about, this role is about choosing the strategy, choosing the tactics and the maneuvers that provide the most effectiveness and security in managing the incident. So this is why we need to have as much certainty as possible and be proactive based on the knowledge, but also, as I said, on the experience and the know-how. So if another thing is evident is when we talk about fire analysis in Europe, is that we are having different fire regimes. This is evident, but we are facing the same phenomenon, the wildfires, no? And these wildfires in their natural, let me say, historical regime are disturbances such as the rains or storms, but now we are not in a natural regime. We have an alterated regime, in part due to the climate change, but also because of the social and economical changes of the last years. So these changes in fire regimes are leading us to new fire scenarios, as we said. We are having fires in places we didn't have them before, such as some countries in Central Europe and in Northern Europe, or in the Austrian Alps, for example. But on the other hand, in the Mediterranean area, the convective fires are also becoming the new normal and more frequent. So basically, we are having more extreme fires because we have warmer atmospheres, and we still cannot model them yet. The models can see it because we have a lack of knowledge in all these physical processes associated. So before 2017, pyroconvection over a wildfire was seen as the exception, but now is almost the new normal. That started happening in Chile and in Portugal 2017, in South Africa 2018, then Australia, California, Bolivia 2019, and then Europe in 2021. So, for example, the Pedro Grande fire in Portugal put the focus on this fire convection, but now we are still no answer to some questions. We can start explaining, but we're still having a lot of answers that we don't have the knowledge to answer yet. So Greece, Portugal, Spain are having these events, but also Sweden, Germany, the Netherlands. So that's the trend, and that is what we need to prepare for. We need a better understanding of all of these physical processes if we want to make sure that we can predict the fire behavior and make strategies and tactics to fight these fires. No? And this is one of the main motivations of the EWET project. This is what we will try to answer the next 2 years. This is a very brief example. That's one of wildfire that occurred 6 years ago in the Netherlands. This fire cannot be, it's a good example because cannot be explained in the classical reasoning. In this fire, the synoptic conditions indicated a wind of about 8 kilometers per hour, but the reality is that the surface spread generated much stronger winds than that. And basically, caused by the convective activity. So this is a simple example, but this also happened in Sweden in 2040, Sweden 2080, Belgium and Norway. So that's the trend. I think the trend is clear, and we must be proactive if we want to avoid collapsing. So focusing on the EWET project, as we mentioned, one of the key aspects during the project is the data collection. So we'll be collecting surface data on the evolution of the fire, such as the evolution of the smoke plume, the fire front, the rate of spread, among other variables, like the ones you are saying here. But we will focus on the collection of data of the atmospheric profiles. And we do this by launching small sondes attached to the helium balloons, like you can see here, and launching this right at the neck of the smoke plume. So they are sucked into the plume and provide the data of the whole of the profile. And then by comparing this data with the environmental data, we can read how the fire is modifying the atmospherical conditions. And then if we analyze all of this, we can extrapolate this to changes in fire behavior. So this is the kind of data we are looking for. And it's also important to mention that this work, or this working methodology, was started by the colleagues from the Catalan Fire Service. They are part of the consortium, the GRAF unit, in 2021. And now the idea is to open all of this methodology to the rest of the fire services now in Europe, but also in South America and other places, and consolidate it. I will not go in depth with this because we don't have a lot of time, but if you're interested, I can share you more information. So with all of this data, we can have a clear picture of the reality that allows us to understand and anticipate the behavior of the fire. So what we want to do is to answer this question. Does my fire have the convection potential? Will it produce a pyrocumulus? And where and when will do it so? How will the fire behavior be affected? Will the pyroconvection process accelerate the rate of spread 3 times, or will accelerate the rate of spread 20 times? These are the kind of questions we want to ask with the project, and for that, of course, we need data. So these are the project objectives, very briefly. Our aim, of course, is to learn and improve the understanding of extreme fire behavior. Then we want to improve the strategical thinking and planning also. We will develop the feasible knowledge hub on extreme fire events. Then I will talk a bit more about this. And of course, we want to expand the Europe and the world capacity to address this new emerging risk, the extreme wildfire event. And to achieve all of these objectives, this is the project concept. And to understand how these extreme wildfire events work, of course, we need data, as I said. So we will start, and we are already started by collecting data from real wildfires and also impressive warnings. So then we will put all of this data in an open data portal, which is a repository to archive, share, and use all of this data. And this is very important because this is a key part of the project, as it will be the first European-wide and open access repository of such data. And in this portal, it will be possible to upload and also visualize this fire data, but interact with them to search relationships and model fire behavior with real observations that we will collect. And this will allow us to understand this fire atmosphere feedback that we are looking for and its impact on fire behavior. So all of this software will allow emergency managers to be trained in the interactions between the fire and atmosphere. And at the end, and this is another key thing for me, this new knowledge that we will generate will be transformed into an operational guidelines in order to improve the decision making at the European level. So we will not only be developing science, but we will be translating it to operational level on how to work. And I think this will be a key outcome of the project, and I'm really happy to be part of this. So and also you from the from Netherlands, you have a big challenge here because you are part of the project. So it will be good to work together. As I said, these are some of the key outcomes that we want to produce. The first one will come out in the next few weeks. So it's a protocol on what kind of data and what formats and how to collect this data we are looking for. And I said this will be available in maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or something like that. But of course, the Open Data Portal is a key part of the project. But also, we will produce reports on extreme events and the influence of these processes on fire behavior, simulations, and modelings will also be available, and the guidelines I said. So with all of this, the impact that we are looking for basically is this. We want to enhance the response capabilities, skills, knowledge, and expertise to improve the management of these wildfires. We want to gain an institutional, but also an individual preparedness against this kind of wildfires. It's a safety matter, in fact. We will provide tools for improving the fire analysis. Then we will facilitate the knowledge transfer through this open data portal and other activities that we will be doing. And at the end, we want to strengthen and empower the European wildfire network. So just to finish with this part, I would like to comment that we will put all the materials and the tools that we will produce available for the fire community, all in open access at the end of the project, yeah, but it will be available. So, and of course, it's interesting for us to identify synergies with other projects, but now, as we are starting, what we want is to consolidate this data set of data collected in wildfire. So we are looking for very specific collaborations. We are looking for collaboration with other fire services that have the capacity to collect this kind of data and do it following the protocols and the standards established by the project, in order to maximize the interoperability. So this is what we are looking now. So if you are interested in collaborating with us, more than happy to discuss this. So just to finish, I think I'm really quick, but I have a lot of time. But here are some images that we have taken during the project, and just to motivate you a bit. You can see the launch of sondes here, and here in the right of my screen, I think it's the right part for you also. This is Henrik from the Greenland Fire and Rescue Service on his first official launch. So I'm really happy to see all of these pictures of the project. So that's all from my side. Just to point out that I think we already discussed this, but we are in a changing world and we face a growing problem where first responders need answers that science is not yet able to provide, and we must work together if we want to avoid the collapse. And this is part of what we will be trying to do in the EWET project over the next year and a half now. And in fact, this is a global problem, but for the moment, no one has a solution. Neither America, neither Canada, nor Australia. So with this project, we have the opportunity to advance in an innovative way, let me say. So I think it's a good opportunity for all of us to work and to put all of our efforts in trying to solve these problems and to answer these questions that we were talking about. So I invite you to follow us on our social media, and for anything with this QR code, you can see the project website. And for anything you can contact us, and I will be more than happy to answer you if I can, or wherever in the consortium. So thank you for the opportunity to be here, and more than welcome to answer any possible questions. Thank you.